This is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talent Mix. It is a Smallville recap podcast. Zach and I watched Smallville together in college, and now we're doing it again in our 30s. I'm Brian. Zach's here. Hello, Zach.
Hello, Brian.
How you doing, man?
Just recovering from this middling episode of Smallville.
Oof. I'm going to say I watched it this morning, and I don't fully remember what I watched only a few hours ago.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't like notably bad.
It wasn't even notable enough to be bad, you know? Like, if it was bad, I'd remember it more. I also want to say we're recording a lot earlier than we usually do. I just got out of work where I taught 5-year-olds how to play the Pokemon card game. And I think if my past self, if my college self would be like, wait, your job is like you play games with kids and then you go and then you immediately go and you do a Smallville podcast. You make a living doing that? And the answer is no. No.
Yeah.
Go back to school.
if our 20-something selves could only see us now, except for, you know what? I'm not too crazy about you, 20-something self.
Yeah,
so
you know what?
Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Go fuck yourself, you little Smallville loving piece of shit. You got good taste in TV, though, obviously.
And in Friends.
And in Friends. Not all the time.
No.
But I got at least one good example. Yep, just this one. This week, we watched Lockdown. It's the 11th episode in the 5th season of Smallville. The 99th episode overall.
The original title of this episode was Lana So Horny.
Lana So Horny. Lana, dude. So horny. She is the most this is deep down the horniest moment we've ever seen from a character. But we'll get a little.
You know what? Good for Lana.
Good for Lana.
She's supposed to be 18, 19 years old at this point in the show. She's good looking. She's got a good looking boyfriend. They have plenty of opportunity to do stuff and he won't do it. I would be horny too.
And you know what? She's also communicating her needs.
Yes, she is. Quite clearly.
Quite clearly. We will get into the specifics of that real fast. I need to give an update on something I talked about last week.
Yes, I've been waiting.
Last week, I said my wife and I were... the anniversary of September the 11th has just passed. And last week, I mentioned that my wife and I were going to get stoned and watch the episode of WWE SmackDown...
No. 9/11 update.
Here we go. It's really important that we obviously, if this is your first episode, every week we talk about 9/11 at least once. Top of show.
It's nothing to do with the anniversary that we just passed.
No, definitely not. So we did dig up the episode of WWE SmackDown that aired maybe 2 days after 9/11. I think we both posited our guesses of how offensive it was going to be. Surprisingly, we didn't watch the whole thing. I'll say that. We watched the first maybe 15 minutes. We fast forwarded through the actual wrestling. Just looked for the weird stuff. And Zach, weird shit abound.
Okay.
It's weird how first no one says 9/11 because that's not a thing yet. It's 2 days after it happened. It's still the attack in New York, the attack in DC.
Right. Okay.
Or just the attack. Weirdly, not specifically no ethnic, no racism that I could really see. Everything was kept generally to terror.
Good for us.
We
Pat on the
oppose
back.
terror. Oh no, I think the racism would all come later. I think 2 days.
Yeah.
I think 2 days after we weren't quite there yet. It opens
it's
on
insane that this is 2 days later. I'm sorry.
2
That's insane.
Fucking days. And it opens on Vince McMahon in a sold out Houston, Texas stadium. Not stadium, but arena. Just talking about how, like, it's very like USA, we're going to live our lives as normal so that I don't have to refund any of your fucking tickets. We're still going to have our very silly wrestling TV show. And we are actually strong American good guys for doing that. We're the brave ones.
Did anyone call out Osama? Like I'm going to get you? Any wrestlers?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
That's too bad.
It's a couple minutes of, I'm going to say, there's a lot. There's an episode a week. It's like 50 shows a year. I'm sure later that year it happens. But no, there's a moment then where like all the wrestlers come out. They're all, and like everyone's chanting like USA, and so that's weird. And my wife and I had a long, very stoned discussion about whether or not in that moment all these wrestlers are in character. My high argument being there is no difference in this moment. Both yes and no, there is no difference. The line does not exist. And then there's a lot of like very sad people processing a culturally traumatic thing that has happened. Just like interstitials of like famous wrestlers being like, I just want to give my condolences to all the families and the victims of the attack in New York. Real wild shit. Wild shit. But that's my 9/11 update for.
Oh my gosh.
Very strange. So not as offensive as I thought it was going to be. Still way stranger than I somehow imagined it possibly could be. I think it defies description. I don't think I'm quite able to articulate it. I think you got to see it to believe it. Not that I'm suggesting anyone pay for fucking Peacock so they can get every episode of WWE SmackDown.
Oh, it's all on Peacock, huh?
It's all on Peacock.
You should keep watching in order from 9/11 on until you get some real juicy offensive shit.
Yeah, I really should. I tried to go back and watch some of that like classic era, the Attitude Era is what they call it. I tried and like kind of struggling. Basically, Zach, I have been planning to watch this episode for a while now. So I was like, I'm going to start in like 99 and then I'm going to build up and get to 9/11. And honestly, like, it wasn't worth it. I have a life to live. I have Smallville podcasts.
We got more important stuff to talk about. I'm pretty sure at least one wrestler pops up in this show at some point.
Surely.
Because Clark has to fight big, strong bad guys.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm surprised we never did a wrestling episode of Smallville straight out of like the first Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah. Who's to say we don't get there? I don't think we do, but
who's to say?
Clark would never fight for money like that. He'd have to be on Red K,
no,
right? He'd have to be.
Right. Why didn't they do that? Red K wrestling? I mean, besides the fact that Spider-Man literally did it, that hasn't stopped Smallville before.
No, we're about to do a Panic Room episode.
That's true. That is true. All right, Zach, this episode aired.
What did we do last week? What was last week's episode?
Last week was nothing, but Lexmas was basically the family man.
Yeah, last week was like your general political assassination thriller. Yeah.
This episode aired January 19th, 2006. Anything else you want to beat around the bush with before we get into this episode that I don't remember? Great.
Yeah, let's get into it. There's a lot of horniness to talk about.
At Lex's manor, Lex is unhappy that the race isn't going well for him when 2 police officers arrive and order him to evacuate as there's been a bomb threat. Lex is suspicious when he tries to check his security, the police officers draw guns. I love that. So, I mean, I guess in uniform, security wouldn't have any reason to not be like, oh, sure, I guess you can go see Lex.
No, they would be like, let me call Lex. They would not let them in.
Correct.
To go
Correct.
See him.
So
I mean, I guess Lex's security is hit or miss.
That's true. And like, have the cops shot security, made their way past security? Basically,
Right.
Why are they so worried Lex is going to call security? What are they worried is going to happen?
Also, what was the plan? Because basically they want to get Lex to tell them where the ship is.
Right.
So why this ruse of there's been a bomb threat, we have to evacuate? Were they just going to take him out of there? Like,
I assume that, they were going to like hold him hostage.
Kidnap him. Gotcha.
And that was an easier way to do that.
Just they didn't want to do it at his fortress. That makes sense.
Right. Yes. Where, he might get into a panic room situation.
A panic room that very recently was a safe, I believe.
I mean, hey, some days you want a fucking safe, some days you want a panic room. Lex is a man of many whims, Zach.
That's right.
So police officers draw their guns. Lex makes a break for it, and his assistant, the
wiki's wrong. The assistant makes the first move, where I think he throws a briefcase or something at them and then makes a run for it and just gets taken out. It was a foolhardy, a bold strategy by this assistant, and it did not pay off for him. He gets shot dead quite quickly.
Next time we make our way through Smallville, I would love to know a character's shortest screen time before getting fucking aced.
But do they have to have dialogue? Because I
think we have a couple of stipulations here, right? I think quickest extra to die is one thing. I think quickest named character is one thing. That said, man, the Langs have to be the one to beat, right? That said,
they have a couple scenes.
They have. Oh, right. No, do they? Do they?
They have at least one scene, right, in the flower shop.
I thought they just roll up. They get out of the car.
Oh, you're right.
And then Lana's like, "Mommy, Daddy."
Yeah, you're right.
That said, you know what? There's a lot of screen time before they fucking get aced.
Yes. Yeah.
So they might not have the record.
30 seconds staring at the media.
Just looking right at it. That said, I'm sure. So there might be some contenders out there. Is this assistant it? Maybe. I'm not going to look it up now.
He's on the
So Lex makes a break for it, and his assistant gets gunned down while Lex gets into a security room. Lex taunts them from his secure room, but they've cut off communications, and the head cop, Greg Flynn, identifies himself as an ex-cop and wants to know where the spaceship is. Ooh.
Somebody save. That's what
here's where we get to just the only scene I have anything to say anything
Lana's
about.
So horny. Yeah.
Lana, so horny. Clark and Lana are studying when Lana tries to get Clark to make out with her, but Clark holds back. Okay, understatement of the fucking year, Wiki.
Yeah, so he really burns her. He like somehow ghosts her in person. It's rough.
We open in the loft, and Clark has some books open, and Lana says something to the effect of, "Oh, when you called me over to study, you actually wanted to study?" So basically, Lana, what is Lana and Clark's relationship like at the moment? We're not seeing a lot of them hanging out or going on dates. The only thing we really see in the last couple of episodes is Lana turning up going, "Show me your dick, Clark!" and Clark being like, "I gotta go!"
It's fair because they boned a few times, ending in like October.
Right.
Because the Halloween episode, he had just gotten his powers back, right?
Right.
So, like October-ish was the last time they did it. She has a right to be like, "What's going on?"
Oh, for sure. But just that means that since October, Lana's just been following along like, "Where's that dick? Dick. Give me your dick."
And Clark's
Give me that dick.
Clark's like, I don't want to talk about it.
I gotta go to class.
It's complicated. I don't want to set you on fire or shoot through you with my super sprayer.
I think possibly finger you to death.
That's what I don't get, Brian. That's what I don't get. There's other stuff you can do that is controllable. You know, at least to like satiate her for a period of time.
Right.
Eventually,
like
she's gonna want to know. But
you can't like keep it right. You can't figure this the fuck out, dude. Like, so I had said now. Seasons ago, when Clark had even less control over his powers, we have canonically seen his girlfriend Alicia grind on his shit. So
Yes.
It was brief, but you brought up a good point.
Alicia can phase through matter. So
right. So all right, there's a little bit there.
Look,
sure.
I know we touched on this a little bit last week, but if Clark is worried about it, that means he has had situations in the past where he shot through the ceiling or something with his...
Right.
Because otherwise he wouldn't be worried. Like, if it was just normal, why would he be worried?
Right. Unless he's worried about... Unless it's less like the fucking shotgun coming out of his dick and more just like, my hips will crush your pelvis.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Or that he'll just become like a fucking dog and like unable to... like, even just the physical strength of like...
Clark, you'll be fine. The physical strength it takes to walk away from Kristen Crook when you're 19 making out in your barn.
He like inevitably will bone down though. He will bone down a human lady canonically. So like
he does in this show. Yeah.
So it is like fine.
Yeah.
Clark, you can figure this out, pal. Do you think in the DC Comics universe, just generally all of DC, where there are a lot of superpowers, do you think that there is some sort of book published of like, so you're super strong, how to still bone down though? Tips for boning down when you're worried that you're going to blow a load like a shotgun through your lover's back.
If there's not, there should be at this point.
There should be. That's going to be my fan fiction, is how superheroes can bone safely.
So basically, Lana's like, will you like kiss me? Like she straight up tells him, kiss me. And then he turns and gives her this little peck.
Little like, ooh, oh yeah, that's, yeah, Clark, he's like, is that good?
Yeah, and she goes,
like
what
that?
am I, your cousin? That's the best.
It's so good. It's so good.
Like, Lana, I don't kiss my cousin on the mouth, just for the record.
Right, yeah, what's going on with your cousin, Lana? Weird, dude. So Clark holds back. Lana becomes upset and starts to leave. As she leaves, she drops a notebook with research papers about a spaceship. Lana reveals she's been working with Lex and is unhappy that Clark is trying to avoid the subject.
Something tells me that when Lex gave Lana this top secret paperwork, like blueprints of the secret alien ship, he didn't think she'd be carrying it in her handbag.
Yeah, right.
Just crumpled up with your, like a pack of gum in there.
Excuse me, Lana, I expected you to keep that safe in your college dorm. That you share with Chloe. Actually, it might be safer in there than it is in her college dorm that she shares with Chloe Sullivan.
I also like that this is top secret documents, but it has the Luthor Corp logo on it. Like, just so you know.
I don't see the problem. Well, like how? Yeah. Please give it back. Please. Please send to. Don't look at it. Don't read any further. Please.
No, this isn't real. This doesn't exist, but give it back.
It's not for you. It's not for you. Okay. At the manor, Flynn, one of the cops, reveals that he was one of the deputies at the spaceship landing. Flynn says that he'll figure out a way to get Lex out of the secure room. The panic room, if you will.
The guy, like, basically to show that he's been injured by the aliens, the guy shows up his hand, which is all mangled.
Right.
like what? Like look at this. But then they showed the screen in Lex's panic room, and it's not HD. There's no way he sees that hand. Like
yeah, right.
Can you hold it? Can you hold it closer? This is this is
hang on,
2005.
Yeah,
this is not an HD camera.
Yeah. Clark and Martha are discussing Clark's relationship with Lana. Martha suggests he should trust Lana as he did with Pete and Chloe.
Even Martha's like, just tell him her, you idiot.
I believe the scene goes with Clark just being like, she was lying to me. And Martha's like, yeah, bitch.
We almost get a less than honest. She says, you haven't exactly been honest.
Almost. Yeah.
Your own mom is like, just fucking tell her. Pete knows.
Just fucking tell. It's like your parents who have been like, hey, maybe don't tell anybody about the whole being an alien thing. It's now like, bitch, you gotta say something now. So they're interrupted by Lois arriving to help with Jonathan's campaign as his manager.
This is a Nietzsche interruption. This is not a Nietzsche line per se. It's like a Nietzsche entrance.
Remind me.
Because Martha ends the conversation saying something to the effect of, well, if you don't feel comfortable telling Lana, maybe she's not the one for you. And then Clark says something to the effect of, I can't imagine ever being in love with anyone else. And then Lois pulls up and gets out of her car.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't read that. I missed that. God.
Oh, no, it's very clear. Yeah, it's like...
That rules. I like that. I like it.
I love Lois and Clark Nietzsche lines.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yes.
That's the one Nietzsche area I'm totally comfortable with.
They're interrupted by Lois arriving to help with Jonathan's campaign as his manager. That night, Lana is driving along and talking to Chloe when the second cop and Flynn's fiance.
She's talking on this like old Navy headset while she's driving. Did you see that?
I didn't, but like how else would you do it?
It's not a Bluetooth. It's like it's the straight up headset. Just speakerphone. I don't know. Like what?
Yeah. Do you think that looked technological and hip? Or do you think that was like a, hey, don't use your phone while driving?
Maybe, but like what does Lana need that headset for? She's like she's stockbroker or something. While driving.
Okay, so the second cop, Flynn's fiance Harris, pulls over and takes her to the manor. Lana denies any knowledge of the ship, but Flynn remembers her from the crash, and Lex has no choice but to come out. Lex manages to get the drop on them and shoot out the scrambler Flynn is using. He and Lana both get back into the secure room, but Lex has been shot in the chest. Lex has been shot twice in 3 episodes.
Yes. Last one was Christmas Eve, and this is airing January 19th. He's not even done with the recovery from the last.
No, he's still in fucking PT. Like
he was almost paralyzed by the last one.
And you just shot him again? That's who?
It's not like an arm shot. He's shot in the chest.
He's just full on fucking shot. I'm not sure if the mic's picking up. My baby is pissed right now.
Oh, I can't hear it at all.
Great.
You should be on my end. It sounds fine.
I'm going to get her on. I'm going to have her on the show. I'm going to hand her a microphone, which she will promptly put into her mouth. She has been teething. So she's got this like one tooth, and I'm just going to throw out there. She's been kind of a little bitch about it. We get it. We all have problems. Problems.
Get a job.
You bum. Lois is at the Kent campaign center when Jonathan arrives and kicks everyone else out. Then
that's one of my biggest TV/movie pet peeves. I think it's more TV than movies, is when a character clears a room to have a conversation with one person. Like, just take that person out of the room and have your individual conversation, buddy, okay? Don't inconvenience 15 other people.
One 1,000,000,000,000%.
This happens a lot. This happens all the time on TV shows. Can you excuse us? Go, there's a hall right out there.
Hey, this whole office. Get out. Which I believe is just Lois's apartment.
Yeah, it's the apartment above the Talon.
Yeah, everyone get out. There's a whole coffee shop downstairs. Right. Jonathan, you have options.
Yeah.
Why do you think they did that? Like, why do you think the writers do that?
What, clear the room?
Clear the room rather than...
Because in this instance, they want to show the busy campaign headquarters, but they just have the one set, right?
Right. And you just have the one moment.
Right. They don't want to do... It's just way easier to... They're not going to set up that whole room for one shot, right? They're just going to do...
Right. I'm also wondering why they even have them, like, clear the room. Well, yeah, I guess so. Like, why not just not have anybody in it? But I guess you want to show it busy so that you want to communicate that this is a full, real operation.
This is an operation, yeah.
And you only have seconds to do it. We don't even have time to make fucking Clark and Lana not fucking a full storyline like it should be. Should be a full, at least a B plot. I'd love it to be the A plot, but we
get 2 C- plots in a row of the story, but you can't. It's not like you can combine them into one B plot.
Right. So yeah.
Literally the same beat, by the way, as last week.
Right. No, yeah, just Lana coming in like, fuck me!
And Clark being like, no! Oh, no! And then the spaceship, and then they're like, oh, well, you're in Lex. Literally the same beat.
Yes. One thing I forgot to mention, Lana seems to be using the word be together to mean fucking down good. She's like, at one point she literally says the line, when you kiss me, I can feel that you want me. Why can't we be together? Which is a very funny CW-ism.
What is the modern way to say that?
Just get it wet.
Yeah. Clark, I can feel your erection.
Hey, your eyes getting hot?
Yeah, why? Your eyes just turned orange. There's a flame, literal flame in your eyes.
Okay, so Lois is at the Kent Campaign Center when Jonathan arrives and kicks everyone else out. Then he asks where all the money for the last-minute publicity is coming from. She eventually reveals Lionel Luthor is the new contributor. Once again, why are you guys not all working around this? Come on. Also, you just tell him we got a donor. He's very...
How much... Right, that's true. You could just say various donors contributed.
Yeah.
How much money is he contributing? Again, this is a state Senate seat. I can't imagine.
We will learn by the end of this episode. It is an amount of money that Jonathan Kent has access to.
Right, by selling 40 acres of property, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. We could figure this out. Hang the fuck on.
But it's Kansas, so maybe it's not like you're buying land in California or something. But here, hold on, I'm just gonna Google. Keep going, and I'm gonna look this up.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going with the wiki, and then we'll see. I think you need to search like average land average price of an acre, yep. Kansas 2006, and see what comes up.
Wait, okay, so yeah, let me see, 2006.
I hope we can figure this out.
Farm real estate values, a measurement of all land and buildings on farms, averaged about $1,900 per acre.
Okay, so that's
in 2006. So that's $80,000, almost.
Okay, that ain't nothing.
$70,000 and $80,000.
That ain't nothing.
No.
That says, so your farm was struggling all this time and you had all this land you quote unquote weren't doing anything with, and you weren't like, I know it's been. He mentions it's been like in his family for a long time.
Right?
Like,
they've had real money problems in the past in this show. He was being stubborn. Okay,
that's it. Okay. So Jonathan is not happy at the price he may have to pay. Clark visits Chloe for advice and asks her to figure out how long Lana has been studying the Black Ship. Chloe refuses to spy on Lana, as she is also Lana's friend and intends to stay out of it. Have you ever been in the middle of a thing like that, of like a couple, and like they're kind of asking you to help an aside thing, and just had those moments of like, I don't care enough. Your drama is not actually that interesting to me.
Like, yeah, I never have let it get very far, of like,
right.
I am not going to be the middle point in this triangulation. No, thank you.
It's it's kind of interesting, and like since becoming a parent, I've been at it for 6 months, so I'm a pro now. It's amazing how quickly so much shit I don't care about.
Right, you have so much bigger shit to worry about.
It's truly profound how much like you're not going to believe what happened. Like, and like drama, gossip. Like, none of that was interesting to me. Not a god. And I used to be like, gossip. Feed me drama.
Right. Yeah.
It's one of those things of like, my social time is so fucking precious right now. This is simply not how I will be spending it.
No.
So Chloe gets a call about Lana's abandoned car. Sheriff Adams, Mr. Kent, is checking Lana's car when Clark shows up and spots a GPS tracker in the wheel well, which he shows to Adams before speeding off. I feel like Sheriff Adams, I don't know if this is quite here, is just very liberal with like, we think she's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like, it should be like, hey, this is an ongoing investigation. Back to fuck off.
Well, it's Clark. He's been involved in 50, 60 investigations at this point.
I guess so. He's
an
just
honorary
like fucking
cop.
He's Monk. Like, he's the guy they bring in to fix it. Where's that storyline where Clark's the on-call guy?
Yeah, the police must be like, it's so weird that 50 crimes have been solved, accidentally when this kid is involved somehow.
Yeah, right.
But he didn't do it. But he was always there right after the day got saved.
I'm sure
so
Smallville
weird.
Medical really wishes they just had a teenager hanging around who suddenly fixes problems at Smallville Medical.
Oh, we'll get to Smallville Medical.
There is a fucking Smallville Medical in this episode. And to which I say, brah fucking vo. Okay, second. Oops.
Oh, I lost you for a second. Are you there?
Hello, am I here? I'm back.
Hello.
I'm back, baby.
Great. I'm here too.
Seconds later, Adams gets a warning of a security alarm at Lex's, and she calls Harris, who reassures her. Adam is still skeptical and goes to check it out. Flynn has cranked up the heating elements in the secure room while Lana tends to Lex's wound. They see Adams arrive on the security camera and meet with Harris in the hall. Adams barges into the main room and sees the dead assistant and Flynn, and Harris shoots her from behind. In the arms of the angels. Now I've lost you. You have muted yourself, sir.
I muted myself. I'm back. I was singing Dust in the Wind. Just imagine it. What an unceremonious death for Sheriff Adams.
I know. And she's about to get hugely upstaged.
Right. I'm wondering, why did they kill her off? Like,
I know. Why not just not?
Because she's not a big enough character that you have to kill her off if you don't use her anymore. Right? You can just not use her for 20 episodes and then she shows up and no one's going to bat an eye.
Right. Unless the only thing I can think of, like, she's been with the show for a couple of seasons kind of doing this role. She's done. She's like, I want to die.
Right.
And that's the only thing I can
There were
think of.
two things I could think of. One was that, and the other was...
I've never died on screen. Do it to me.
The other was, were they like kind of half-assed? Like, is this the big character to die?
That would be beautiful. That'd be beautiful.
Clark is like, he goes to the fortress and Jor-El's like, I'm sorry I had to take someone so close to you. And Clark's like, yeah, I'm super upset about it.
Man, if only I... Would it be that I could fly and reverse the polarity of the Earth and go back in time to save Sheriff Adams?
Sheriff, what's her name? Yeah. My good friend.
Oh, Jor-El, you'll pay for this.
Wait, can't Clark just take her body there and be like, "Hey, use her life force"?
Yeah, right.
She's dead. Or is it just... She died organically.
No, Jor-El's sitting there like, I want to do it. I want to do it. Let me do it. This is my whole thing. I'm a shitty fucking AI replication of your father's fucking... I don't fucking know.
We have so many questions when that transfer makes place. I'm gonna have more questions.
I don't. It's like ultimately, if we could have one guest on the show, we'd probably pick Rosenbaum or Welling, right? But like, we have so many questions that only Goff and Miller can answer, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and the answer would be "fuck you." Don't worry about it. Shut the fuck up.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
I want to hear them say that, though. I want them to admit it. I want them to look me in the eye and tell me, I don't fucking know.
It doesn't matter. That's what they would say. What? Get a life.
No!
No, I refuse.
Goff and Miller, we have dozens of listeners. Dozens!
You're just like my 20-year-old self. Judging me.
Okay. She confesses. Who is she? I think I skipped down too far. That's it. Okay. Clark is back with Chloe at the Daily Planet, checking out the GPS serial number and tracking it to Flynn, figuring he was at the spaceship landing. They go to see his psychiatrist while Jonathan vents to Martha.
Did you get a look at Chloe's computer screen when she's hacking? It's like a full-on Matrix screen, like just like green numbers. That's how it
works. That's how it works.
Just scrolling numbers.
Yep.
I've never once in my life seen a screen like that.
I'm in.
Other than,
well, that's because you're not an A+ expert hacker, Zach. If you were,
maybe on the website for like the Matrix Reloaded when it was coming out or something.
There was something. There was some old like news magazine segment about cyber hackers, and it depicted like a guy at its 90s, full frame, and they literally depict a guy who doesn't look dissimilar to me, pale, white, bearded, a little paunch, and he is at a multi-monitor computer screen. He's wearing an NES power glove, and he picks up a slice of pizza while he's doing it, while he's typing away and hacking. And honestly, that's what I wish hacking was.
They were pretty far. I think they were pretty close on that, honestly.
You're right. You know what? That's it. That's hacking. So Clark is back.
The pizza right. There's for sure pizza involved.
There's always pizza involved. Okay, so Martha confesses that she took the money from Lionel and convinces him that it's okay. It is kind of like, Jonathan's like, I don't want to owe Lionel a favor. It's like, you take money from the farmers, they're gonna expect things.
Yeah, you're in politics now, man.
This is what it is. It's a shitty system. They don't join it.
You shouldn't be able to take money from people.
Right? It's always funny how they're always like, campaign finance reform until they have to fund their own campaigns.
Yes.
And then suddenly that goes to the back burner. So let's see. Lana is still tending to Lex and trying to keep him awake. He talks about his dream from the Christmas episode and how Lana was the best part of it. Lex admits he doesn't know where the spaceship is and that it disappeared. Lex passes out, and Lana opens the vault and demands they give him help. In return, she'll take them to the ship. Flynn agrees, and they head out. Missing some good stuff here.
Kind of sweet with Lex talking to Lana about his dream, and then he makes it creepy.
Well, yeah, it's Clark. No. Well, first off, first thing here. Lex mentions that the meteors changed both of their lives so dramatically. And, like, Lex lost his hair. And Lana's parents died. Yeah, you're right. These are the same thing.
What an equivalency to make.
Poor, handsome rich man who's pulling it off, gotta say. Pulling it off.
You look great.
You look great. Has nothing to be self-conscious about. Totally pulling it off.
He does compliment. He says Clark has really nice hair, and it's kind of funny. And he's like, I had a dream, and Clark and I were friends. And she's like, that sounds nice. And then he's like, does he know how lucky he is? And I'm like,
first off goes, does he know? To which Lana says that he has nice hair.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's like, how lucky he is. And I'm like, okay, now you're being creepy. Can you just be on your deathbed and not be creepy?
Lex, stop it. Bad bald billionaire.
Stop. Like, this is the moment you're picking to take your shot, Lex?
I mean, come on. He's dying. Like, it's now or never. Come on.
That's true. Yeah. He thinks he's dying. Yeah. Because he's always had really tough recoveries from bullet wounds.
You think... do you think that deep down there's a moment there of like, yo, you need to get dick down good?
I can tell how horny you are.
You seem so horny.
I don't have all my blood right now.
I'm like, not right now, but I'll make it work. Give me a minute.
Yeah. We can do hand stuff.
There's way more to sex than penetrative.
Someone should tell Clark. There's other stuff that's fun.
Most of it's fun.
It's a Yoda. There is another sex move.
Oh, boy, howdy. I keep wondering why listeners are dropping.
No, this is the good stuff. This is what's going to get
the good stuff. The people are wrong.
It's them who's wrong.
That's it. Okay, Lex admits he doesn't know where the spaceship is, blah, blah, blah. Help Lex. Flynn agrees, they head out. Clark and Chloe sneak into the psychiatry wing and check the tapes of Flynn talking about the spaceship. They figure Flynn...
fun way they sneak in is Clark super speeds in and shakes up the security guard's soda so that when he opens it, it explodes all over him. And then they sneak by. Yep.
They figure Flynn went after Lex. Clark super speeds there and finds Adams and Lex. Lana and the others arrive at the warehouse where Flynn reveals he's going to plant an explosive to draw the police and press, verifying his story. When they get there...
We get a great piece of exposition from Girl Cop. Because we know that he saw the ship and they said he was crazy and locked him in a mental institution, but we don't really know why she's helping. And so we get this line where she's like, and they wouldn't even let me visit his own fiance.
We got the information out.
Yes, it was late, but who cares?
It came up earlier in the wiki. Okay. Verifying story. When they get there, the ship is gone, but Lana manages to release some pipes and hit Harris.
Oh, those are pipes. I was wondering what the hell those big fancy cylinders were.
I mean, Smallville, like just pipes everywhere.
I think the wiki's skipping over Clark. Clark takes Lex to the hospital, And then like they're like in the room. They're like getting him ready to operate or some shit. And Clark's like, where is Lana? And the guy who's moving Lex to the bed's like, get this guy out of here. And I was like, that guy must be new.
He's a transfer from Metropolis,
from a real hospital. Yeah. Like, oh no, anyone can just come in.
We just leave the door. We have an open door policy here at Smallville
You can
Medical.
loudly interrogate our bullet wound.
Right. Ask him if he knows where to get a good pizza. Actually, too. If yeah, it's like, somebody doing their job, huh? Smallville Medical.
He came from the hospital in the show ER. Like,
yeah. I think this signifies a real big turnaround, I think, for Smallville Medical. I think this guy's going to change it.
This guy, he's in charge. He's like,
I think so.
Believe the way you do shit around here. This is insane. You just let people come in?
I think we have to keep an eye on that. We have to see if new guy makes some huge changes to Smallville Medical. Let's keep an eye on it. Okay. Clark gets Lex to a hospital and gets him to tell where Lana is. Okay, with 34 seconds on the timer, Harris frees Flynn and they plant the bomb before running out. Clark super speeds in and spots Lana and the bomb. It goes off.
It's a fun save.
Yeah.
This is a fun little save.
It goes off and Clark makes a last microsecond rescue of Lana just ahead of the explosion. Flynn and Harris are sent flying.
It looks like they blew up this factory for real.
I thought so too. It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Meh. There. I mean, you're getting down to the 100th episode, though. You think all the money would go to the 100th episode, but maybe they had a little left over, and they're like, let's blow up that building.
Dynamite's cheap.
I also assume stuff like that is like buildings that are going to get blown up anyway, so it's a little like, can we film it?
Right. Can we make it look a little flashier?
I assume the city's happy to help with that. In general, in exchange for like having production there of like, can you find us buildings that are going to be exploded?
Right. We'll pay for the explosion or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is just a guess. I know nothing. Flynn and Harris are taken off, and Lana admits it was her idea to lead the bad guys off, and that she saved Lex's life because he saved hers. Jonathan has come to terms with Lionel's campaign contribution to decide to pay it all back by selling back the back 40. The wiki just says the back 40 with no context for what that means.
Well, that's what he says in the episode.
That is true.
I sold the back 40.
The back 40, Jonathan. Thankfully, we've calculated it's value. And it's not nothing. It's not nothing. Though I do have to wonder, is Martha like, we were going to retire on that, Jonathan? Like,
yeah, the back 40.
We had plans for the back 40, Jonathan.
$70,000 circa 2006 ain't nothing.
Right, that's also way more valuable than I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Not quite double, but like, damn.
It's a chunk. It's a chunk of change.
It's a chunk. That's a good chunk of change for your. But you might not win, Jonathan. Jonathan, I'm just realizing now what a dumb decision that was, Jonathan.
Yeah, you win, and then you can make almost no change.
Yeah. And you can just become part of the system. Great.
Yeah.
I'm sure also, I don't know what Jonathan's life insurance policy is, but I'm sure Martha wouldn't have minded the back 40.
Yeah, I really hope he used some of that money to buy life insurance.
Yeah, right. Okay. So Lana and Lex share a moment, and Lex promises she'll always get the truth from him from now on. They resolve to be friends and hug as Clark comes in and sees them together. Later, Clark is grousing to Chloe, $10 word, wiki, to Chloe about how Lex endangered Lana. And Chloe tells him that if he'd been honest, she wouldn't have linked up with Lex in the first place. Clark is left with something to think about.
I wonder.
I can tell you what I'm not going to think. I wonder. I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to think about this episode ever again.
No.
It was fine. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't interesting enough to be bad.
Very forgettable. The most interesting that happened also happened last week. So
right. No featured music this episode. We better get some good shit in the hundo.
We got some needle drops next week, Brian. We have one great needle drop and one atrocious needle drop, which will bring back memories for both of us.
I was like in my kitchen and the next episode auto played, so I caught the first notes. Yes. I don't remember what it is now, but I did go.
It's a song you and I loathed.
I reacted strongly, but I don't remember what it is now. So
I would wager at this point in time, no one likes that song. No one likes the song that's playing at this point. I can't wait
to remember what it is. Let's see, but no needle drops this episode. We got a Pete Ross mention here. Let's see, Lionel Luther. No Lionel Luther this episode. That's not a nail in the coffin, but like
that's why it's so forgettable. That's why it's so forgettable. It's not. They talk about him, so that's why. That's why it's not a total. It's not a total stinker because he's mentioned. He looms over the proceedings.
There you go. Let's see. We covered Lois rolling up. In the same scene, a wrecked truck can be seen in the background, the same one that was wrecked in Splinter. So either Johnny K bought the same fucking truck, or that was imaginary.
Oh yeah, I mean, they bought that same truck 100 times, Brian.
I know. I don't know why this one's sticking in my brain. Okay. This is the first episode since Solitude that Lois appears and isn't in any danger.
Oh, wow. Good for Lois.
During the tussle between Greg, Sheriff Adams, and Deputy Harris, Sheriff Adams gets shot, but officers, no matter the type, don't usually enter a pressure situation without a vest. It's possible she didn't see any danger or need for caution. Also, did Smallville budget is down.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And the Kents have been fighting poverty for years, so it's odd that only now Jonathan considers selling his land. Yeah, that was
extra 40 acres.
Silly. Silly is the word I would use there for that. Okay, here's the shots of the exterior of Warehouse 15, including its explosion. Zach, buckle the fuck up.
Oh, it's from something else, isn't it?
It's from the Sylvester Stallone film, The Specialist.
Oh my gosh. No wonder it looked good.
Right. Boo, Smallville.
I was going to say that, like, is this from something? But I was like, there's no way they took that many shots. Because it's like, it's several shots. It's a whole thing.
Right. It looks good.
The Specialist.
Now, does it still look good in The Specialist, or once we get to feature film level, should it?
Exactly.
Like good for Smallville's not like great.
That's funny.
Okay. That seems about everything. Get a look at this in the spoilers section of the wiki. Lana says, "What am I, your cousin?" in response to Clark's kiss. Clark's real cousin appears in season 7.
That's...
Hey, wiki? Hey, wiki? Sometimes it's okay to just not put anything there.
I worry for the wiki writer. You typed that. You spent the time and the energy to type that. It could have been spent doing so many other things. This is coming from two guys who have spent years of their lives doing a Smallville recap podcast that almost no one listens to.
Almost no one. There's a difference. Between no one and almost no one.
Make better choices, wiki writer. I stand in judgment of your choices.
I think that's going to wrap it up for us this week. Thank you again for listening to the Talon Mix. Hey, we have a Patreon. There's a link in the description of this episode if you feel so inclined. We put some bonus stuff up there. I think we have some ideas for some stuff coming sooner than later. If not, hey, we totally get it. And in fact, agree with you. Just a review, a 5-star, or really just whatever star rating you feel. We'll take a 3. We'll take a 2. We get it. Or just, hey, say something nice, something so we know you're out there and we can say hey. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
I'm trying to think of one. Do you have any ideas we could contribute here? Is someone close to Clark gonna die next week?
Good night, everybody.